Hi, I'm Dr. Witten, and I will be teaching this class. This class is entirely online and it's asynchronous. That means we don't have to meet at any specific time. However, I will hold Zoom meetings where I'll go over some of the practice items. These Zoom meetings are optional and they're recorded so you can access them at a later time. The schedule for the Zoom meetings is posted in the syllabus and under the Zoom excuse me, in this class, and it's Mondays at 2 o'clock. Also, there's another video for accessing Zoom recordings. If you want to look at that, I think it's in the announcements. Also, this is a 6-week course, so it's going to be intense. And I would say that to earn an A, you're going to need to spend like 12 to, for some people, even maybe close to like 20, 24 hours a week in order to succeed in this short amount of time. So really prepare yourself for dedicating some time to this class if you want to do very well. For this semester, only the exams are for points. So in other words, none of the quizzes or homework is for points. Those are just for feedback and practice. In other words, they're optional, but you do need to do them in order to do well on the exams. So I suggest spending some time on them. There's 5 total exams, 4 module exams, and a final exam. So let me just show you what I mean. All right. So if we look, so we've got SPSS teach, so we've got your welcome. I'm going to go over the introductory slide assignment. You've got your SPSS tutorials all here in one place that you can refer back to. And then the first lesson really starts here. And so throughout this lesson, you'll see some little quizzes and stuff. So for example, there's a practice quiz here. And then when we get to the study guide for exam 1, so this is what I'm considering a module exam, right? So this exam is based on the previous 2 modules. So you can see there's, always some practice, little quizzes, there's a study guide, and then there's a practice exam that will take you through pretty much exactly what your exam is going to, obviously it's going to be different questions, different numbers, and that kind of thing. But this is what it will look like to you. I do use Proctor Hub. And so you'll get these questions, and there's going to always be 25 multiple choice questions. And then I don't know why these are one at a time. They're usually not. But anyway, you'll go through these, and then at the end, you will get, I'm obviously not really answering these questions. Whatever, submit it. Get out of this. Oh, let's see. Yeah. And so, oh, nope. See, I'll do this. So you'll get through question 25. You're going to get a thing that says start section 2. And then you're going to start question 26. And so you're going to actually be given some actual data that you're going to have to analyze. For the last 5 questions, these are going to be hand calculation questions, and you will have to, at the very end, submit a picture of your hand calculations. So you'll just take a photo like with your phone and then put that into a Word document and upload the Word document. So yeah, so you would upload a photo into one Word file, and then you're going to upload that one file for the TA and I to grade. And so definitely do the practice tests. If you have questions, write them down for the Zoom meetings. And if you watch the pre-recorded Zoom meetings, then you can obviously, just if you have a question and I don't answer it in the Zoom meeting, you can always send it to me or the GTA. I had like this whole script, and I'm just like kind of, instead of going by the script, I'm winging it. So I do that a lot. So you see I took you through the modules. So that was an example. So each exam is 20% of your grade. And so including the final exam. The final exam is different. Like I said, there's a ton of different ways to practice. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy by scrolling down. I'm just showing you there's always practice, there's always study materials to help you through. So that when I say you need to dedicate all of this time to this class, it can be very, very structured. So you've got, I would definitely, and as a matter of fact, I'll go through some of the best ways to study. But what I was doing is taking you to the practice, a final exam. And so practice exam. Again, the practice final exam is exactly like I don't know why I can't find it. This is what happens to me once the recording starts. Here we go, final exam practice 2022, there we go. Okay, so this set up exactly like your actual final exam, which will be like, I've got tons of databases with hypotheses attached to them. And so in these, so what you would do is you're just randomly going to get one of these, from this huge set of hypotheses and databases. You will just get one. And your job will be to determine which statistical test to run it in SPSS, interpret the output, and write it up in APA format. So here in this example, which you may get on your practice exam, you hypothesize that risk-taking behavior will be correlated with agreeableness on the Myers-Briggs. You collect the following data from people who took both tests to see if they're correlated. Higher scores indicate higher risk-taking and agreeableness. And so here, like you see the hypothesis and, here's the data. And so you would put this into SPSS. Here, kind of the keyword is right there, correlated. So you would run a correlation for this one. You would upload your SPSS output. You need to copy that into a Word document or PDF format. And so you'd upload that for 5 points. And then for 10 points, you would write the results in APA format. That's not APA format, by the way. That's totally different. Okay, so that kind of goes over. This video is just kind of an overview to get you started right away, knowing exactly where your grades are coming from, so you can put the most concentrated effort into that. I did want to go through kind of how to study a little bit. So again, kind of back to that, how to be constant. I swear to God, I wrote all this out and I'm just winging it. It's really weird how I do that. But what I would do is, so if you look at the lesson, you will see that in each lesson, there's usually a video or two, right? So here's like the mean and standard deviation video in this. So you can see I've got a little YouTube video here where I work that out. There's definitely at least one of those in each lesson. So one thing that I would do, especially if you're more of a visual learner, if you're going to miss that in-person class experience, I would go along with me on the videos. Obviously, you want to go through the entire module. And when you go through the modules, definitely do the practice exams. So it's usually pretty easy or I tried to make it really easy to read through these. And then if you see here, it says, try this, calculate the regular mean and compare the values. Which value do you think represented the central blah, 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 right? So, so you would do that. And then for a lot of them, so that was kind of a thinky question, but if you come across one with a link, then if you click the link, then you would get the answer actually. And so do the practice quizzes for sure. That's going to help you understand. See, like for this one, if you click here, you're going to get the answers to the exercise. So, and then I would get the book. And I know a lot of students have always asked me, especially the Saul kind book. I have 2 optional books, and I think they are really helpful, especially if you're going to be a psychologist. But, you know, I know limited funds and everything. I totally get that, believe me. So, but I think that this book is so easy to understand, and I think that it's really a good investment for you. Even if you get like an older version, just know that my notes, when I say table, you know, table Y, it may be table X or something in an older edition. But I would say definitely get the book and go through my lecture notes and kind of refer back to the book as well. Another big tip is to like find a database, any database. There's databases in your book. There's, you know, databases like you'll see me sometimes in Zoom videos just like make up, you know, 1, 2, 58, 60 or whatever, and then do it 3 ways, right? You do it by hand, do it in Excel, and do it in SPSS. Make sure all those numbers match and make sure you can interpret it all of those ways, right? So that's a really, I mean, I wouldn't say easy, but you know, kind of structured way to study. And then I have assignments that I used to give for points, but I'm not doing it like that this semester just because it's so short. And you know, like it's really difficult to really get back to people, but like do these, and I'll actually go over these in the Zoom meetings. And so, you know, like go through this. So this one, this first assignment, I'm actually just telling you to do it those 3 ways. So I'm going to go over that, this exact database, and go over that in the Zoom meeting. Plus, like when you do it, so let's say that you do it those 3 ways, and then is there a preview thing here? Oh no, because all right. Well, so for this one, I put it as I might change that to like a quiz, but most of them are actually quizzes. So it's like you get this database, right? So there's your database. You're going to put it in SPSS, right? You're going to obtain your correlation in SPSS, and you're going to use it to answer these questions. So you'll do that, and then you can know right away. So I'm just going to make up some correlations. I don't care about any of this. So let's just see if I got that one right, which I didn't because I just made it up. But you'll see that, right? And so you'll see that, okay, what you put here is wrong. You know, usually there's some feedback as to how you can get it right, and then you can kind of try it again, right? And so if you're still having trouble, remember, I'm going to go over it and you can ask questions then. So do those. All of this will help you do well on the, you know, obviously do well on the exams. And then, like I said, the practice exams are key because they're going to be set up just like your exams. So there's lots, even though it's a lot to especially in a 6 weeks course, so much to learn so fast. But if you do it in this kind of structured way, you can study well enough to do excellent on your exams. And so just want to point out a couple more just opportunities for points. Make sure you do quiz 0 by Thursday. Also, I'll stop sharing screen so I can just talk to you about this. Okay, so hi. So quiz 0, that's for 3 points, is due this Thursday. Also for a few, I think I made it 5 points, do the introduction slide assignment. And so that's in your welcome, is like kind of the only thing to do in like the welcome module. And so it's just putting a PowerPoint, sending a PowerPoint to us. I think I've got a little place for you to upload it. So do that, you know, just like, you know, like you'll see mine. Hey, my name is Shannon. I have cats, you know, like I like to do art or whatever, you know, like you can make it as simple or as complex. It's just one PowerPoint slide. So don't do like a whole PowerPoint presentation, just like one little slide that kind of introduces yourself. And I think that that helps us kind of get to know each other. It's not just, you know, like names on a screen so much. You can see that there's some real people in there, and you might even see in this slide, I'll put together a little slideshow, you might actually see that, hey, you know, that person really likes playing the oboe as well, you know, like, you know, maybe I'll message her and see if she wants to start a study group or whatever, kind of making it more like a classroom feel. So do that. Also, SONA, let me just show you that really quickly because I know there's always some questions about that. So SONA, I know I pulled that up. So if you haven't done SONA before, this is the extra credit system that we have at UCF for doing studies, right? For participating in other people's studies. So like professors like me, we like to do studies. If you want to be a participant in one of those studies, we'll give you extra credit for it. Lots of them are online. Some of them will be face-to-face. Just set up a user ID and password. I think, yeah, there you go. So if you haven't done that before, you can request an account and there'll be a whole list. So I'm not even going to try to remember my password right now. So, you know, you can see for summer A, we've got deadlines for summer B, as well as summer C. I'm sure these would apply too. So the thing about SONA is that you can allocate your extra credit points to any class that you want. So for example, if you're taking general psych right now, like you would have to have like 10 points or something for that. So, but let's say that you got 20 SONA points and at the end, you know, like you wanted all of them to your general psych class. You know, but you thought earlier in the semester that stats was going to be way harder than it was. So you thought you'd allocate the points to stats. Well, at the very end, you can allocate them any way you want to whatever professors are on this system. That means that I'm not going to be able to put it in the grade book until the very, very, very end of the semester. So the whole point of that story is don't freak out if I don't put the SONA points in. It's fine. It'll usually be there at the very end of the semester. Also know that some people can't do the SONA points because you just can't get to campus, for example, or something like that. Let me find it here. Nope, that's announcements, not assignments. Sorry about that. If you go to assignments, there's actually here, SONA alternative that you can do. And here I just ask you to make like a tutorial, like an SPSS tutorial or something, you know, just like a little slide that goes through, you know, one of these kind of describes it obviously here. And so instead of SONA, you can do this, you can do all 10 extra credit points. So you have a maximum of 10, right? So you can do all 10 through SONA. You can do all 10 by making 10 different tutorials. You can do 5 SONA, you know, 5 this, you can do 2 this, 8 SONA, you get the picture, right? So there you go. The points will just add to your total points. So I think there's 450 points in this class, but don't quote me on that. I think in this, yeah, so whatever. There's whatever the total number of points in this class, like let's say that there is 450, you earned 390 from all of your exams. And you get 10 points, now you earned 4, so your average would be, you know, 400 divided by 450 instead of 390 divided by 450. And one more thing, just to take you through your grade, the grade and your grading process. I have on here a makeup exam, right? And so it's in the place where it's not for points. Just so you know, like if you go to, like you can see, I hope you guys can see this. So you can see in this section, these are all the things that are for points. And then down here, it's like all of the practice exams and that kind of thing. So your makeup exam isn't worth points. So just note that if you bomb like one of the tests, right? So you're just like, oh my God, I forgot that this exam existed. Or, you know, like, I just really don't understand what you're talking about when you say correlation or whatever it is, right? So just whatever happens, life happens. Believe me, I know one of your exams you bombed, you can just take this and I'll just replace whatever you get on this with whatever your lowest exam score is. Obviously, if you score higher on this if you score higher on all of your 4 tests, but not the makeup exam, like this is the lowest exam, is what I'm trying to say, then nothing happens, right? So taking this can't hurt your grade. Of course, the final is excluded from this. So everybody has to take the actual final exam, you know, interpreting the SPSS and everything like that. But this is optional. If you get to the end of the semester and you're happy with whatever your grade is, you don't have to take this. Right? And so because we've got limited time this semester, basically the makeup exam and the final exam are kind of due about the same time. So, you know, that's what we've got, but you always have a couple of days to take your exams. It's just like once you open the exam, that's it. A couple of other points that I had in the script that I'm obviously not sticking to. I do want to make these points though. All of the exams are open, everything except other people, right? So you can use your notes on these exams. You can definitely, I encourage this, right? So on the hand calculation questions, put it into Excel, get the right answer, like, kind of do it the easy way. And then I want to make sure that you have that numerical fluency to where you know how that answer is derived, right? So I want to increase your numerical fluency, mathematical thinking, and that kind of thing. But if you see, like, if you put the information in Excel or SPSS, kind of get the answer computationally, and then go through the steps, you can kind of see like, okay, here's where I went wrong. I encourage that on exams when you're doing practices and stuff like that. So basically, the exams are quite open. I just need to make sure that it's you actually taking the exam. And believe me, I will come down with the hammer of Thor if I catch anybody, taking a snapshot and posting on GroupMe or whatever you guys are using these days. Does anybody know the answer to this question? I will fry you even if you answer to somebody like that. Don't do that. You have enough information here and it's open enough to where you can use your own resources in order to work this out. And believe me, and anybody who's ever gone through a statistics class will believe me, if you come to that exam without having studied and you try to pass the exam, just by looking everything up on Google or in the lessons or anything, I mean, you're still pretty, you're not going to do great on that exam. So you definitely have to study, but when you get to the exam, you can use your book, your notes, what is online, and any kind of calculation device, including Excel and SPSS, to help you. So, okay, wow, I think that's it. Did I go over all of the points that I wanted to? I did, and without the script. So of course, I probably added a lot more flourish than the script would allow, but I think we're okay with that. So obviously, I want to end with just saying, like, any questions that you have, please let me know, and I will do my best to help you out. And I know that the TAs in this class, the GTA as well as the undergraduate TAs, are also available to help you. So the first Zoom meeting is going to be on the 25th in this class. Make sure, maybe not. It's going to be what is this? It's the 23rd in this class, right? Monday the 23rd, yeah. And so 25th in the other class. So that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day.